Hello everyone, this is William K. Murtaugh, aka Mert Witness 1. I often get amazed at how people just don't care about playing the rules of the game. And in this case, it's about Timmy, again, and his ardent supporters that don't seem to care about rules. Now, YouTube is a company that provides a free service. You can upload content to YouTube in the form of videos for free, and you can also live stream for free. But YouTube also has rules, and they decide when you violate the rules what your punishment's going to be. Now, Timmy Holmseth violated YouTube rules. Timothy Holmseth was banned from YouTube and his content taken down. So what does Timmy do? He comes back with a YouTube account under the name Amy Dawson. This is a clear violation of YouTube rules. YouTube eventually will take the site down. These things take time, but eventually YouTube will take it down. But that's not the problem here. The problem here is there are people that believe in Timothy Holmseth, believe he's an honest guy. They believe that he's a worshiper of God. He's a Christian. So on and so forth. Well, there is a commandment in the Bible which goes to this rules thing. There are 10 rules set down by God. Now, where did these rules come from? Well, according to certain Bibles, whichever one you happen to read, it seems to be the most popular opinion, that this old buzzard with a beard climbed up to the top of a hill, and he happened to have these tablets. And he pointed the tablet up at the sky, or these tablets, however many it took, and a bolt of lightning came along, and the lightning pen wrote out 10 commandments. And a voice in the sky says, all right, you get out and tell everybody down there on that earth thing that these are the rules they need to follow if they're going to join my cult. Or join my religion, if you don't want to call it a cult. These are the rules. 10 of them. They follow by the rules, all is good. They don't follow by the rules, all is not so good. Of course, we'll have confessionals and a way you can make up for breaking the rules, but the bottom line is you gotta follow the damn rules. So go out and get down there in your merry way, start sending the message out by my foot soldiers that this is, if you're gonna play the game, these are the rules. God's rules, in the case of Mr. Holmseth, God's rules are great. Best thing around. 10 commandments. But guess what one of those commandments are? One of them is thou shalt not bear false witness. In other words, don't lie. Now, if Timothy Holmseth is going on YouTube under the name Amy Dawson, what is he doing? He's lying. He's committing a fraud. He's bypassing the ban that YouTube put on him. YouTube says, we do not want you here. Go somewhere else. Go over to Gab. Go on Vimeo. Go somewhere else. Stay away. But Timothy can't do that. He's got this thing about YouTube. It's got to be YouTube. Please, please, it's got to be YouTube. I got to have my YouTube. He's addicted to YouTube. So he comes up with a pseudonym. Now, he doesn't choose a generic pseudonym like the Righteous Soldier or Haley's Hero or something that would be more along the line. He chooses the name of a woman. Amy Dawson. Common name. You go and look, you go and do a Google search of Amy Dawson, you're going to get a million of them. One of them's an actress. So Timothy Holmseth has a hots for an actress by the name Amy Dawson, so alright, I'll take that name. Not quite that simple. For guess what else? There's another Amy Dawson on YouTube. Same exact name. Doesn't have a profile icon, or at least I don't think she does. But she's on there. So people may mistakenly identify Timmy Holmseth Amy Dawson as this other Amy Dawson. I don't think Holmseth thought that out. It's a common enough name. The odds are quite great that there would have been another one with the same name on YouTube. And sure enough, there's several of them. But this one Amy Dawson is the closest to the Amy Dawson that Tim Holmseth put up there to make it a match. But okay, so Timmy breaks the rules. He breaks the commandment. You would think that people that look to Holmseth for an honest assessment of what's going on in the areas of child trafficking, satanic ritual abuse, and all these other things that Tim talks about, and they would say, well, he's honest. He follows the rules. No, we don't. And would they abandon him? No. They come up with excuses. I have had a debate now for going on 3 days with this one particular person that comments on the subject that I brought up. It simply does not care that Tim Holmseth lies. And she comes up with every excuse in the book. I have never seen anybody defending lies like this woman has. I almost have to believe that maybe Tim Holmseth made this person up to argue with me. Because the arguments this woman comes up with are the same ones that Holmseth has come up with. But it's an example of what happens when somebody is so fanatical about what they believe in that they throw everything out the window. In this case, the rules of the game. Then YouTube has rules. You don't lie about someone. Or let me correct that. You don't lie about being someone to get into YouTube after you have been banned. If you have been permanently banned from YouTube, that's just too darn bad. You're gonna have to go find something else to do. We don't want you here. And so, go. Get out. Now, this is an example. Say you have this cousin, uncle, or some relative, or maybe an old somebody that used to be a friend, and he starts doing things that you don't like. And he said, look, I don't want you around here anymore. Don't come to my house. Don't bother me. Just go. I don't want to see you ever again. And what happens? He shows up again. And, you have to keep telling him, look, I don't want you here. Go away. But he keeps coming back. What do you do? You can't, the guy isn't going to go and change his looks or anything and disguise himself to come in, but he's going to keep coming back. This is what Tim Holmseth is. Now, the reason Tim Holmseth is on the run from a court case is because he cannot follow the rules. The only thing the woman wanted was to be left alone. Don't call me. Quit bothering me. Quit trying to get a hold of my friends and family. We don't want anything to do with you. So what does Tim Holmseth do? He lies. He smears this woman. He tells lies about her. And then he gets hooked up with an organization that's not even a legitimate organization. And in the process, puts her safety and that of her family in jeopardy. Now this woman has people calling her place of business saying the Patriots are coming for you and saying all kinds of things. And we got people on the internet that want this woman dead, that want this woman hanged, and all this stuff. For what? Money. That's what this boils down to, all this rule breaking by Tim Holmseth and all these other people. It boils down to money. Because people donate to Tim and his supporters. There's Patreon and PayPal links on their respective web pages. Now, not on the Amy Dawson page, and there's a good reason for that, but everywhere else. So let's go back to Amy Dawson. Why isn't there a donation page on Amy Dawson's account? Well, the reason is quite simple. In order to have a donation marker on a YouTube account, you have to tell who you really are. You can't say, well, I'm Amy Dawson, but I'm really a guy using the name Amy Dawson. You have to identify yourself. Now, there's two reasons for this. Number one, it's federal law. You're deriving an income from YouTube. Basically a professional business or a broadcaster. So you have to have what is known as a tax ID number. And yes, you can you can get a tax ID number for a business. I had a dealership, an automobile sales and leasing dealership. I had to have a federal ID number to pay income tax on the revenue from that business. I also had to have a state Florida sales tax number because I collected sales tax on behalf of the state of Florida on every car I sold. So you have to have identification. And you also have to have a bank account. Now, when you have a PayPal account, the money's got to go somewhere. And it doesn't matter if it's an online bank account or if it's a physical bank account. You got to have a bank account. You got to have a place for the money to go. And so, you got Patreon, you got PayPal. Got to identify yourself to those companies. You also have to identify yourself to YouTube because you're using YouTube to derive these funds. And YouTube doesn't want to get caught in the middle of a money laundering scam. So if you're going to monetize your YouTube site, there's some rules you got to follow. A lot of people don't follow these rules. They put these Patreon donating things on there without notifying YouTube, and when YouTube finds out, you get thrown off the service. Because I'll tell you, you either take that thing down, register it with us, or we're going to throw you off the service. You get a strike. So, This is what Timmy's problem is. He got banned from YouTube. Comes back as Amy Dawson. But he can't use it as a revenue stream because he's not Amy Dawson. He can't prove himself as Amy Dawson. So he can't have a donation pin on there. And he also can't have anyone put a donation pin on the account on his behalf. Because YouTube will knock you off the air. And so rather than have the donation thing, he just uses it as a place to republish his material that got him banned in the first place. And it's going to get him banned again. And if he gets banned again, he'll probably come back as somebody else. This seems to be a habit with Holmseth. He just cannot live by the rules. The rules aren't made for him. He's above the rules. You see it in the court. He doesn't believe in the court system. He says the court is crooked. So he goes around and he finds all these people that don't like the court because they can't follow the rules. The court's crooked. So, boom. He gets all this support from these sovereign citizen nutheads because they don't believe in the rules. And who are the sovereign citizens? Well, if you start looking at the known ones like Field McConnell and the two clowns from down in Florida, you're going to find that they have had problem with the court. Field McConnell is facing foreclosure. He's got a hearing in October. Coincidentally, the hearing falls the very same week that he decides he's going to take a plane trip over to merry old England. And guess what else? Field McConnell owes the government a lot of money. Taxes. Now, the amount's been swinging around. I originally thought it was $14,000. It's a lot higher than that, according to some sources. We're looking somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000. That's a lot of income tax. You know, to have taxes owed on $100,000, you had to have made a boatload of money, probably $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, because you're getting up in the 40% tax bracket. And so if you figure your gross income versus what you're allowed to deduct, you made a lot of money. Where did all this money go? He has all this money. He's being foreclosed on. So he didn't have money to pay for a house. And he certainly didn't have the money to pay for all these taxes. What the hell's going on here? Maybe he lived too much of a little bit of a high life while he was over in England and all these conferences he went to. See, Field likes to go overseas and he likes to go to these little conferences. And these conferences aren't free. They don't pay to come to them. It costs money. You have to pay for airfare. You got to pay for your hotel. All kinds of things you got to pay for. Your meals. And he wasn't there by himself. He had people with him. So that's, living the high life, going first class on a jet airplane overseas to England, all the stuff that goes into that. And this is donated money. He's up there, he sells things on the internet, has the Patreon and the PayPal and all these donation sites. He's got a little empire there, yet he's too cheap to pay his taxes, and he's got himself in a little bit of trouble. And for whatever reason, he thinks that going over to England's going to solve his problems. And Tim Holmseth basically has followed in his footsteps in a way. Because what does Tim Holmseth do? Now, he gets himself in trouble because he decided he wasn't going to leave this lady in Florida alone. He's going to keep bothering her. So she said, I've had enough of this clown. She goes to court and she gets an injunction. And she comes up with about 120 pages of proof why this guy shouldn't be around her. All these threats he's made, the telephone calls he's made, the accusations he's made. Under Florida law, that's considered cyber stalking. Now, it doesn't matter that it falls into the family domestic court, because this was done at a time when they really didn't know what to do about cyber stalking. They didn't have a separate docket for it like they do now. You had to go to family court to get it done, because that's where they put it, because they consider it a form of violence. It's mental abuse, which is a form of domestic violence. And it doesn't matter that it wasn't a spouse. It's somebody that she met online. Tim Holmseth contacted her online. Tim Holmseth alleged to have engaged in terroristic behavior online. And just like if they had met through a dating service, it's considered cyber stalking. And so they said, you presented more than enough evidence. Here's your injunction. And all the injunction said is to quit lying about the woman, leave her alone. Now there's about a dozen different ways that Tim Holmseth could have gotten this little message out there about all these satanic ritual abuses and everything else, and picked anybody else in his rogues gallery, or even hidden the name of the woman in a way that nobody'd be able to identify her, yet they'd know there's somebody out there, this mysterious head of this group. There's no reason to bring her name into it. Let everybody else figure it out. Timmy couldn't do that. He had to name the woman. He had to give her occupation. He had to give where she lived, right down to the street address. Violation. He even put it in a damn book. Violation. Just could not live by the rules. Had to break the rules. And where did it get him? Got his ass thrown in jail for a few weeks in the first of 4 trials. Now he's got 3 more looking at him. And what does he do? On the second one, he runs away. Breaks the rules. Contempt of court. Gets a warrant for his arrest. Now it's a statewide warrant. It's going to take a little bit of time to get arrested. I mean, he's not, they're not going to go out, and the FBI is not going to hunt him down, and the U.S. Marshals is not going to hunt him down on a statewide misdemeanor warrant. So Timothy runs off. Rumor has it that he's holed up in this nice fancy house. He gets his 3 squares, a nice comfy bed. There's even a heated indoor swimming pool at his disposal, hot tub. I mean, he's got himself a Ritz-Carlton gilded cage that he's living in. But there's a problem. Tim Holmseth is not going to be able to support himself except through scams and donations. He can't go out and get a standard job anywhere, because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to do a background check. You go to work for Pizza Hut delivering pizzas, even if it's with your own car, they're going to do a background check for 2 reasons. First of all, you're handling money. Second of all, you're going to people's houses representing that company. And if you have a criminal record and you have some kind of shady background, they don't want you working for their company. So Timothy Holmseth can no longer deliver pizzas. Okay, Timothy Holmseth is an experienced janitor. Same problem. He used to work for Noah, briefly, through a temp agency. Had to have clearance to get in there. Well, he got in a pissing match with the company that hired him. He even took him to court and lost. So that option's out. He can't be a janitor. So what the hell's the guy going to do for a living? He is virtually unemployable. Now he just might be able to go to work for a temp agency that doesn't do background checks. That's rare, but he can do it. It's going to make the minimum wage, but how's he going to get there? He doesn't have a car. His 2000 Ford Focus is sitting in a impound yard because he left it and they impounded it. So he doesn't have a car. So now what's he going to do? I don't know how long his driver's license is good for. But one of these days, either this year, next year, a couple years from now, whenever it comes due, Tim Holmseth is going to have to renew his driver's license. What's he going to put for an address? I'd really be curious to know that. He walks into the DMV and says, I got to renew my driver's license. What's your address? Some states, like Florida, you have to prove where you live. You have to have a bill or mail come to that address. Is he gonna have mail come to some guy's house or this woman's house where he's at with his name on it? I doubt it, because then it becomes public record. They're gonna say, all these internet detectives out there are gonna say, oh, we got Timothy Holmseth down here in Elk River, South Dakota or Minnesota or Little Town, USA. And he's going to get found out. He's going to get doxxed. Next thing you know, local law enforcement's banging on his door if he's in the state of Minnesota. They just, Polk County, Minnesota will call down to Podak County, Minnesota, say, hey, got a dude down there with a misdemeanor warrant, and he's living at 1313 Shithole Lane. Can you get down there and bring him back to your department? We'll send a car down there to pick him up. Sure, no problem. Next thing you know, there's knock on the door. Owner of the house opens the door. You got a guy by the name of Timothy Holmseth living here? And I was going to say, geez, I don't. And the deputy's going to say, look, if you got a guy here with a warrant for his arrest, and you don't bring him to me or bring me to him, you are obstructing justice, and I'm going to arrest you. Now think about it. And so he's going to go get old Timmy. Timmy's going to come and say, what the hell do you want? And the deputy's going to say, we want you. And the old, you right, Miranda warning's going to be given to him. He's going to have his plastic handcuffs put on him, and he's going to go away. See, they don't use the metal things anymore. They use these weird looking little zip tie things. And depending on the mood of the deputy, they can tighten those things up really tight, and you can't get out of them. So they just zips them up, and then you go in the back of a police car. Now, very few people I know have been in the back of a police car. I had a couple of these things in my dealership once. For whatever reason, people in Florida love to buy these old Crown Victorias. And every few years, cops get rid of them. I go to an auction, pick them up, throw them on the lot, and the minute I put them there, they're gone. Everybody wants to drive a police car. And the backseat of the police car is not a nice place to be if you're on a 2 or 3 hour run. Some of these things, some of the seats are hard plastic. There's no cushions at all. Or else they may have a regular car seat, but it's like being in the back of a taxi cab. It's just one solid black vinyl seat, and they're very uncomfortable. And you got this cage in front of you. You can't put the windows down, so if the deputy driving the car doesn't like air conditioning, you ain't gonna have air conditioning. And on the same token, if the deputy drove down wearing a tactical jacket and he's hotter than shit, he ain't gonna turn the heat on, and here you are with no jacket, just regular clothes. You're gonna freeze. So it's not gonna be comfortable anyway. That's my point. And you're going to take this ride all the way from point A to point B with your hands cuffed behind your back. Not in the front, in the back. That's the rule. Because they've had too many people escape from a sheriff's car because they were handcuffed in the front. There's a YouTube video out there about where that happened. Funny as shit. You know, some of them, in order to avoid getting your hands smashed as you're buckled in against the back seat back, some of them police cars have little indentions for your hands to go when you're seat belted to the car. So in the case of an accident, you don't go flying around like a ping pong ball. So you're somewhat comfortable anyway. But that'll happen. Because Timothy Holmseth broke the rules. You know, in the short run, you might be able to get away with breaking the rules. In the long run, it's going to catch up to you. You're going to get your ass caught, and your ass is going to jail. And so, Amy Dawson, a.k.a. Timothy Charles Holmseth, one of these days they're going to get you. Could be today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. But they're going to get you. And you're going to pay, and you're going to pay hard. And this brings me to what's going to be in part 2. So stay tuned for part 2. This is William K. Murtaugh, a.k.a. Witness 1. Have a good one.